All right. Good morning. Good morning. It is May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. Didn't even realize that. Anyway, with that being said, it is Monday. It is stock market Monday. Big week ahead for FOMC. Big rally off the lows. A lot of people trying to figure out what's next. Is the recession off the table? Will the Fed do anything? Will we finally get a concrete deal versus rhetoric? We're getting through earnings season. Some names acted better than others, so we're trying to readjust our go-to list somewhat. And today, getting a little volatility. S&P futures are down 42 after being up 80 on Friday. Did they have to be up 80 on Friday? I guess they wanted to squeeze everybody into a weekend. And anyway, with that being said, we'll see what today brings. If you look here at the chart of the SPYs, right, you had your low, 481 was the low, came up into resistance, made a higher low. Remember that at 508. This was really the candle that launched a lot of the active bulls. This was the candle when Palantir was let loose and some things were acting better. And pretty much from here, we've been grinding higher. Okay, we hit 568.37. So it'll be interesting to see what happens today. The SPYs right now are down 455 at 562, right around the low from Friday. Will they hold 562? Will it hold? We shall see. If it doesn't, then you have the Thursday gap, which was 557.87, which would kind of be interesting. It gets a little sloppier underneath 562. So question is, will it be controlled or not? I do still have some positions coming on. I have some premium sold. I've been trying to manage things the best that I can. It's been really good. We talk about multiple time frames. I did take off half of the blood in the street account. So from 481, which was about 21% off the highs, up into about 17% move, I figured it would be smart to take off half. But again, that's what I do with the blood in the street account. If we head back towards highs and grind away, I'll get more and more swings. We'll make a lot of money in our swing trading account. If all of a sudden we head back lower, then I have a lot of flexibility just in case, the ramifications or the reality of all these tariffs that, might come home to, just might start presenting themselves a little bit more in June. I just wanted more flexibility. So anyway, so this is 562 to 562-ish hold. If you went out extra short, some guys got caught and went out with a big overlay short. If that's you, I'd cover a little bit, but then keep a little bit. I'm short the 572 calls, figuring, that was a way to do it to be hedged. If you look at the Qs, the Qs have support at 484, right? 484 is the same thing as 562. And then here's your gap at 480. So we'll see how controlled is today's move ahead of the Fed on Wednesday. As far as earnings, we definitely have a few different, looks. I would say out of all the earnings plays, Microsoft was pretty impressive. So maybe Microsoft's worth a look today. 424 is your gap pivot. That's what some people are long verse for a swing. Friday's low is 429. So it'll be interesting to see if Microsoft could hold 429, to get this go-to status back post earnings, but we'll see. Let me put that in here. That's Microsoft. It's down 4 at 431. So it's got some room to that 429. What's another one? Meta. Meta also gapped above 570, acted very well on Friday. So I would think, Meta is something that you could take a look at also as far as being perhaps go-to status. I'm not in either one, so I might look at them today, 591.55. Okay, what's this? This is 578. So both have a lot of room to get back towards Friday's low. So you want to be a little careful buying too fast. But those two acted best post earnings. Google, I am in. Google actually has been making me a lot of money. I kind of went away from Google for a while, and then all of a sudden, boom, Google post, they sold it into numbers. I mean, not sold it into numbers. Post the print, it gapped up, and they just sold that. But then you had a red dog reversal here at 157.52. Great entry, 3 up days. I have some stock on, some options on, and I'll see if I could buy a dip here, 161.95. Where's Google this morning? Google's only down $1.20. So I would think Google probably is something, if you're not long it, maybe look at it to buy versus 161.95. And I probably will be buying a little bit more of that as well. I'm also in Tesla, but Tesla, it's been really annoying, to be honest. It hasn't had the power. Every time it looks really good, it kind of gets sold down a little bit. I do think there's a potential setup here. This is 279. So this is my out. I'm done with this play. If this does not hold 279, okay, then to me, this bull potential flag of, that's setting up kind of well will be a lot choppier. Some say, hey, Red Dog, just give it to 272. I get it. That's probably a better spot. That's a looser, wider spot, but I'll give it to 279. What's it doing this morning? Not the end of the world. It's down only 2. So I will probably be buying it versus our level and see maybe it can go red to green. Maybe it outperforms a little bit. So that's worth a look. I would assume. I did cover my gold. Remember gold? I bought a lot of puts for gold. It was a power play. I'm done with that play for now. Thank goodness. That's saving me some money. Why is it saving me money? I put on the puts here. I rolled it down twice, and I just like, you know what? I'm not bearish on gold. I was just, a nice active sell. I can make money not having to have too much on a swing. And some guys have 25% left over. If you do, it's filling this gap this morning. It's up. UNG's up a little bit. That's been a nice play. Nice move here. I have like 25% of those calls left over. It's up 17 cents. I'll probably be done with that play coming into the 50-day. And then there are some different plays that I have on. So this is the alpha team right here. By the way, we are doing an open house, so you could see that some guys are on trial. They're coming in, where you'll be able to spend the week with me and see how I navigate, see what I do. It's not a sexy scene. I'm a trader. Okay, I'm trying to make a living here. I'm not here to impress you. I'm not here to, start doing things I don't really do. I'm doing everything I do for the last 28 years, where I get in, I have my iced coffee, I do my 40 charts, I navigate my positions, and I figure out how I could try and make money every day. Yes, quantum computing was strong on Friday. So was ASTS. So some people are like, why do you have all these positions? I don't have that many positions, but I have a reason for them all. So ASTS is a name that I've been focusing on for a while. Had a nice move on Friday, and it's down like 20 cents. I'll probably be buying more. I do think that this big channel, this huge base where you have Google accumulating there was some news over the weekend that BlackRock upped their stake. This is, kind of a futuristic type of company with satellite, connection. I'm not going to get into the whole fundamental area of it, but, this was a nice candle. It's only down 25 cents. I will probably be buying some more, and I do think that this could work its way up a little bit higher this week. So I would put ASTS on your radar. Not so bad. Some guys are saying quantum computing stocks were good on Friday, so we'll see if they continue. These things, definitely were strong, so they're probably down small and worth a look to see if they can go red to green. I'm in QBTS. Some guys are in IONQ. So if you are, what you want to do is you want to see it hold a portion of Friday and continue. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Okay, so this is kind of in the game to do so. So is QBTS. What was this high here? This was 795. So we'll see. We'll see if anything can go red to green today, right? So Palantir is coming out with numbers. This stock's been an absolute monster. We made a lot of money here. I don't have it long. I don't have options into earnings. This is where we were really hyper focused on buying it. And it's had a really nice move. It's near all-time highs heading into the print. We'll see what happens here. What's it doing this morning? It's down 38 cents. Hasn't reported yet. So I would watch it. If all of a sudden it takes out this 125 with authority, chances are, maybe it heads higher. But again, it's priced for perfection. So that report's going to have to be awesome, like super awesome. What else? I do have some Nvidia on. Nvidia, not so great, but it's kind of okay. I thought maybe if we get some kind of deal this weekend with China and chips, Trump's been talking pretty loud about Nvidia. So I have some on. So again, I don't feel like I did anything irresponsible there. We'll see how it holds today. What's this low? This low is 113.37. So we'll see if 113.37 holds, or 113-ish. It's below it right now, so it's got to get back above that actually. So we'll see. If 113 doesn't hold, this is 111.92. So we'll see. That's pretty important. That's one of the keys to the day. Nvidia is down $1.70. Tesla's down 270. Palantir's down 45 cents. The SPYs are probably coming in a little bit. Not too bad. So we'll see if Nvidia is something I would watch to see if it holds in there or not. Why is Netflix down so much? Chilla wants to ask. Why is Netflix down? What's Netflix doing? Let's see. Ooh, Netflix is down a lot. Down 4.7%. It was definitely overbought. And I said to you guys, I'm like, guys, you can get out of Netflix. I'm like, my friends over at the Inner Circle are like buying puts. It's 11.59. That's a nice big move. I don't know why it's down so much, but it's definitely been stretched. So hopefully you're down to at least 20%. By the way, the oscillator went out at plus 80. So it's a bunch of overbought. JV Department of Justice. Moldova. Hey, Jorge. Okay. Anyway, let's see what some of the guys are saying around the world. These are my dogs. You're allowed to talk to me during the 6:30 club. I do have a comment section. Most people comment on it from YouTube or Twitter. Trump 100% tariffs on foreign-made movies. Yes, that makes sense. That's why Netflix is down. Okay, I heard that on 1010 wins. So I guess see if 1095 holds. Where's Netflix? 1100. Yeah, I would think right here 1095 could be worth a spot to look at. See how everyone kind of look at that. Everyone right there. That's the beauty of community. That's why I have the Alpha team actually. Where everyone inputs things that they see. Ask a question, boom, everybody could throw it out. That's how prepared everyone is. Let's see. Jose, good morning from Caracas. Good to see you again. Nice, CB. Good morning. Tonio, happy Monday. Spot is also down. Yeah, Spot is, Spot and Netflix have been really strong. But again, Spot, this also came a long way too from from the post earnings move where it they sold it off on earnings saying it wasn't enough, and then it was buyable into the 100-day, and now it came back towards highs. What's Spot down? Spot is that's down 2%. That's not, this is down 4.8%. That's a lot. This is 628. What was the low here? 612. All right, so I would see if Spot holds this. Goes a little bit sideways. I don't know. Apple's in the penalty box. Apple didn't act well on numbers. I guess look at 202. Apple's above it. Their buyback probably starts today, so maybe it's sold out. 202 is right there. It's a 203. Maybe you could buy versus that. I'll take a look at it. Apple's not like my go-to stock. It needs some time. But yeah, does it hold 202? That would be good for the indices if it holds up there, Jose. DJT. Okay. I don't know. I haven't traded this in such a long time. DJT. That's a Donald Trump stock. It's kind of tight, so I guess maybe there's something here. Take a look at that. Not so bad. GLD's up a lot. Yes, I sold my puts. I made like 400% on those puts. Wound up selling some around 4 1/8, 4 1/4 from below $1. Not so bad. So what else you guys want to talk about here? Let's see. Yeah, Amazon. 186-ish. Amazon, the numbers weren't great, to be honest. But maybe it holds. I know Jeff, there's some news that he's selling 25 million shares or something like that. So could be some pressure still on that stock. So I wouldn't be overly focused on it, but maybe it holds this 186-ish. I have options on just because I had options from earnings. I put a call spread on that lost money. I'm not going to hyper focus there. It's interesting, right? Oil has been getting absolutely crushed. And to be honest, I passed Wawa this morning, and Wawa gas is still $3. I'm like, why is Wawa gas $3 if you have USO about to make new lows, which at some point will be really good for the economy? This is 60. Where's USO? USO is Yeah, 62. So not down that much. What's this? This is 60, 62.70. It's gonna be a busy week, my dogs. Busy, busy, busy week. I'm just hoping today I don't get run over. I do have some longs on. I do have some. I do have some hedges. We'll see. Gotta say, Dash has been unbelievable. I've been telling you guys about Dash as a go-to name, literally for since the August correction. If you remember here when we had that August correction, this was the first thing that took off, and from there I started to get to know it. And I've been trying to buy dips. It's been a power play option. We've done it a lot of different ways, and look at this beautiful move. Last thing it did was do a red dog reversal 185, and it still has room. What's it doing today? Probably down with everything else. Something smaller. It's only down $2, 203. What's this low? This low is what? 199.43. So we'll see if that could hold. Numbers are coming out soon. I think numbers are coming out this week. I'm going to be a lot smaller into numbers. May 7th, so in 2 days. It's going to be one of those things kind of priced for perfection, just like Palantir. Be careful with Palantir, but we'll see how that goes post print. Palantir is coming out today. Is it after the close, guys, or before? After the close, okay. I'm not going to have anything there, but maybe it wants to push through. Maybe it's worth a look there. Reddit's a pain in the butt. Reddit, I was counting my money. Listen, that's why you never count your money prior to your options open. I had 130 calls on, the stock was trading 140. Then all of a sudden they said something about their MAUs on the conference call. It went from 140 to 120. And all of a sudden that 50 grand that I thought I was going to make turned into zilch. So with these options, you never count your money. You know what I'm saying? Hims looked pretty good. Earnings after the close. This really isn't in like an earnings scenario. This is more like a future thing, but yeah, you gotta know when it's coming out with earnings, definitely. So what am I going to look to do? I'm going to see if I could add to ASTS this morning, see if we can go red to green. I'm going to see if QBTS, gets a little bit extra love. I am in some JD. Chinese names were kind of strong, so we'll see if JD could hold this low here and continue. BABA was pretty strong, but kind of extended. There was two things: some positive China news, but then some talk from some of the Senate Republicans that they want to, they want to take away the ETFs from China. But I would say that's not a shot. But anyway, does BABA hold 126? Where's BABA right now? BABA is, let's see, BABA's down $1. JD's only down 30 cents. So the Chinese names are holding up pretty well. But this has had a nice move. This is when things are in a bull flag, that's when you want to really focus on them. And then once they go, you want to kind of trim and manage the trade. Don't chase things. Everyone loves to chase things. Nishan, a trial member here, and a newbie wannabe traders. All right, take it slow. All right. Yeah. I got to 6:49. It's May 5th. My initial thoughts are what kind of day are we going to have today? Is it going to be controlled? Will the dip be bought? Will 562 hold? If 562 doesn't hold, will 557 gap hold? Right now the SPYs are, down 432. Not the end of the world considering they were up 80. They're up 8 points. So 562. If 562 holds, I deem that pretty impressive. If 562 breaks, what you got to do is look at 557.86 and see if the SPYs get down below Friday's low. See what stocks hold Friday's low to see if there's any relative strength and anything that could, that could provide some cash flow today, et cetera, et cetera. With that being said, if you want to come hang out and try the virtual trading floor, be my guest. We'll be here all week navigating, trying to make the right decision at the right time. I have about 40 charts I got to mark up and get going, and I'm going to do what I do. And if you want to see a little bit closer, if you get value in the 630 club, you'll get a lot of value from the alpha team that has usually about 500 people on all day long, and most people there all trade for a living. So a lot of human capital there, that's very smart, and has everyone else's best interest at heart. So that's half the battle. Good luck today, guys.